Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look here at Chainlink, see what's going on, of course, help understand best practice and big picture. And I got a lot of requests and questions from my community members asking, how I was able to pick this one out of the hat and effectively, take significant profits. I mean, we're up over 50%, I believe, for our second profit target, still trending towards our third. And Chainlink is doing a lot better than most coins are right now, even in the face of Bitcoin coming down. So there's little things you can kind of pick up on the technical analysis to help identify what that means and how to kind of anticipate that type of breakout. There's just a handful of little things I want to kind of show you here. So if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I hope you can learn something here today. My goal is to help you become a better trader, period. So if you want to become one, CryptoCache.tech is a site. Link in the description below. Be sure to check that out. I have discounts for military and third world countries, as well as a simple fact that I like to I send out basically signals for every trade that I take. I have an academy, and it's just one of those collaborative environments where we get together frequently and all talk crypto and make sure we're on the same page. So it's really awesome to have kind of a community there. So thank you so much to my current community members, of course, for making this just a great part of my life. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate communicating with you. Take a look here at Chainlink though. Here's what we're going to do. Of course, just generally speaking, big picture first of all. I drew a support level out here. That's basically where the price action is kind of averaging out. It was also a previous low, one of the most lowest points before the parabolic increase. So it's a relevant support level that I think is important to understand and acknowledge, and just the simple fact that that is what this lower line here is. Okay, that's just kind of give you a baseline of the fact that the price action shouldn't go much lower than that in general. Granted, Bitcoin sells off here again to 22,000 or something, or the like. We'll probably see that broken, but should effectively work as a support level. You can see there's a lot of volume here where the price action kind of averaged out just above that, and that's a good sign. All right, so here's kind of what to look for. So first of all, you can kind of see this ascending pattern here, first of all. So if you look here, you can see the price action coming and making higher lows. Okay, so check number one for identifying a breakout is higher lows. You don't necessarily have to have higher highs, but obviously it's helpful, which we saw here. Okay, so that kind of confirms higher highs and higher lows. The second thing to look for is a break above a key level resistance, which we see here. So this price action for 2 days straight couldn't pass $8. Here, once more, on the 6th, basically 2 days ago, or 3 days ago rather, we see the price action get stopped out right there and close right at that point. Okay, and then of course day number, what was it? This would be 2 days ago roughly. We can see on the 7th, we can actually see the price action came above, came back down to effectively, bounce below that, but it closed above that level. So we got a solid close above this key level resistance. And that to me is a pretty huge thing. So it's very similar to like price discovery. So say none of this existed, right? Say that was just your average ICO date right here, and this is an all-time high. When you have all-time highs in the enter price discovery, what's very common is for the price to come up, come back down to retest that level, and then to continue higher from there. That's essentially what's going on here in a lot of ways. Yes, it's not price discovery, of course, we know that. Chainlink's been much higher, but generally speaking, we can see the price action came up, came down to retest that level, and in the same exact day, it bounced not only off the 20-day SMA, but it continued up to almost test the 50. So that's a pretty strong indication. So, after having seen that, we were able to take a position here yesterday, right in the low $8 range or low to mid $8 range, and essentially take some profits on the way up based on the fact that it came down to effectively bounce off that level. Okay, so again, that's a majority of what kind of went into understanding this. We can also see too as well that volume is increasing. And as you have increased volume, just say you have increased volume here with this doji candle, that's a very, very good sign that the bulls are in control and the bears have lost control. Okay, so again, the reason why that's relevant is because the price action started here, came all the way up, came all the way down, but ended at the exact same place it started, and we had more volume. So it really just implies that the price action having more volume tells us that the actual, the price should continue higher from here. And the main reason why is because the bears effectively lost control. They tried to sell the price off and they couldn't. Okay, and that's where increased volume is extremely important. I love to see this really long red candle and the price stay exactly the same. That's a very, very good sign. So that to me was kind of the trigger, like, okay, great. I think we're in a pretty good position to go ahead and take an entry and go ahead and take a long position. And keep in mind, right now, Bitcoin is doing the exact opposite. But if you look at Chainlink's Bitcoin pairing, you can see it's also doing very good. And there's just a handful of little things you can kind of look at to identify, but I would say that the break above that key level resistance with a retest followed by a doji candle and high volume are probably the reasons why this worked out so well, and it's continuing to work out. So just generally speaking, that's what we're looking at there for the daily on Chainlink. And see, I think there were still a few other factors as well. Obviously, we broke above 50 on the RSI. That's extremely important. Not a lot of coins can actually say that. We've also got on the 4-hour, if I recall correctly, there was a MACD convergence, which you can kind of see here, right there on the 7th. So that was basically the 2 days ago. As soon as that price action started to increase, broke above that key level resistance, and essentially closed above, right? So it came up, didn't even come back down to retest. It just kind of cleared it and stayed above. So even though the RSI is overextended right now on the 4-hour, and we probably should experience a pullback in the relative near future, we're still looking fairly good here. Okay, so yeah, we're at a 7. We've got maybe 8 hours worth of continuation of the upside, and that's it. But again, increased volume is causing this to happen. So if we start to see the volume taper off, we can probably expect the price to come back down. As long as the price doesn't come back down lower than the most recent high, about 870, we should be in good shape. Because what that'll do is that'll continue to give us higher lows. And higher lows is the key to success. Obviously, higher highs are nice too, don't get me wrong. But any type of breakout will always start with higher lows first. All right? So those are just kind of some things to look for and identify. Taking a look at the 1 hour as well. We can kind of see we're well above the cloud, of course. We've been maintaining the cloud, came down for a little bit of a bounce this morning, or late last night, I guess, and then the prices continued up further. Now, we overextended, though. This is the curious thing. So we're at a 9 right now. So we're at a 9 on the 1 hour, and we've hit a 9 previously as well. 2 times, as a matter of fact. So I would venture to guess that we're nearing the end of this momentous trend for Chainlink. Unless the volume can increase further, we're probably not going to see much continuation of the upside, even though I'd love to say that and love to see it happen. You may want to consider taking some profits if you're in that trade that I sent out yesterday. Because again, even though we've taken probably, I think, 70% of our total position size, that last remaining 30%, it may be advantageous to close out. And the main reason why I say that is just because we've hit 2 9s in a row, right? We got 1, 2, and now we're at a third 9. So the more 9s you get in a row on TD sequential without a good period of consolidation, then the more likely for a hood for a pullback. Now granted, this is a good consolidation phase right here, so we can kind of null and void that. But this guy here didn't come down, only came down to a 6 and got a reset. So there's a strong chance that we may and will likely see a pullback and or the price goes sideways, very similar to what we saw here. Could do one of these. So we could see a movement like this right here. Again, there's no guarantees on this, and crypto has a tendency of just completely defying the laws of trading. And for the most part, when you have a 9 on TD sequential, and you see 9 consecutive candlesticks higher than the previous 4th, then you can tell that it's going to probably continue to go sideways or down from there. Again, it's just because it's reaching an exhaustive state, and at this point right now, when we hit a 9, the bears are likely going to take some profits. It's kind of just the nature of it. All right. Again, if we have significant buying pressure with increased volume, that doesn't matter. So just keep in mind, we're getting closer to an exhaustive state here, there, plus also on the 4-hour too. Obviously, it doesn't have to reverse because we could see here previously we hit a 9 and had 24 more hours of continuation of the upside. Okay, so Chainlink is pretty much defying a lot of, I wouldn't say rules of trading, but just fundamentals and things that should happen aren't happening right now, and that's the main reason why. And obviously, the catalyst is the increased volume, which could also imply that there is some kind of fundamental catalyst too. So definitely do your own research, just based on a technical standpoint. That's how I was able to identify this, just so you understand generally, what goes into the mind of me taking a trade. I get that question a lot, and I'm sending out signals now too with explanations as to why I'm taking the trade, so that way you can learn the most from it. So I do appreciate your patience and also the consideration for asking that I do that, because I think it's important for us to all know, the why behind things, because that's the most important aspect of how to become a better person in general. Why am I acting this way? How do I feel? A lot of those things factor in here, okay? One last little bit of advice: if you're not feeling well or if you are having a bad day, do not trade. It's just going to make it worse, and I highly recommend you find a good center, a good thing, you know, taking a walk, taking a run, going swimming, whatever things you can think of that are constructive that take you away from this and get your mind out of it for a moment. That's the important thing, because it can be difficult if you just continue to ruminate on just the negativity, because oftentimes when you take a loss, you sit there and think about it the whole time. I've done it before too, but there's ways around that. And those are things I teach in my trading academy. So be sure to check that out. Once again, CryptoCache.tech is a site. Link in the description below. I hope you had learned something here today. Of course, if so, comment below. Love to hear your feedback. I greatly appreciate all your support as well to my current community members and my, 44, almost 45,000 subscribers. Thank you all so very much. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.